Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Psych, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma. Between the east, we got I think it's Kimchi. I looked up his Steam profile, looked for, aliases, and I saw Kimchi there. So we're going to call him Kimchi here. Fighting for the Soviet Union, socialism. Taking on the role here of the first mechanized corps. In the west, we got Helpinghans, fighting for the Fatherland, Germany, Deutschland. Rolling up here for the 1st Panzer Division. And he's got breakthrough fortifications and spare corps with triple infantry versus Lend-Lease, 3rd Reserve Army, and armoured assault with double infantry machine guns there for Kimchi. Heading into double units, a likely penal to build there. Kimchi sets out victoriously and aggressively for the Soviet Union versus Hans, who moves out to Sturmpaniers, cautiously wiring off the field, prepare for the oncoming Soviet onslaught. With full system north, we're going to secure the compartment, that way making it easy for the Kuban to secure here, but also preventing Kimchi from rushing the house here and thusly putting a pressure point on Hans in the early game. More barbed wire going down there to deny the wreckage of the truck as cover for the opponent. Hans there being very thorough and methodical. Penal was there eyeing for Kimchi as he moves out here, heading aggressive down there. Also got a wire down from him here to make it harder for the opponent to sit down by the fuel. Western, 2nd Indian squad moving ahead. They might head iron northward to try and put pressure on the centre. We'll see there what Kimchi does. In the meanwhile, though, Hans, notingly here by goes in aggressive as his opponent fuel point there with the Sturmpaniers leading the way for the Fatherland. Moving down the dirt roads, catching the Indians out in the open. That's going to force Kimchi then to disperse troops down there. Dispatch, not disperse, but dispatch. Troops down there to help defend the fuel point. Thusly allowing Hans to sort out more territory. At the same time, you can see that Kimchi's going in aggressively over the engineers here, as you can sort of see on the mini map right next to the house. Putting some pressure there on Hans as well, though he's getting more full engineers out. Kimchi following up here with the M3A1 scout car for the motherland. And right here, Sturmpan is falling back, though they have suddenly done the job to the extent of drawing in a lot of forces from Kimchi. They're just going to have to retreat them soon. They're already down to half health, and they take too many losses. They're certainly going to be a bit expensive. And of course, the important thing is, while they've drawn out forces, they've yet actually sort of do any harm in return. And there you go, Hans just retreats here. Excellent, I think, since they have unit preservation, just managed to barely avoid any losses. They're obviously going to have to heal themselves up, but they do have the medical kits available, so they can quickly pop them down, heal them up, and then return. So he was able to basically keep, well, I would, why did the engineers cost again? I can't quite remember the specific cost. So that's about 400 manpower, close to it, roughly 300-400 manpower occupied, but he's just 300 himself. Close to 400, right? That's 300. So that's about 470, almost 500 manpower. Managed to keep occupied with just 300 without doing any, losing any men himself. So that's a pretty splendid job there by Hans. More pumps arriving there for Kimchi as he just pushes in aggressively. He's got the engineers there popping in the scout car. They will likely be equipped with a flamethrower, so that way make it very difficult for Hans to defend. Of course, just rapidly zoom around on the battlefield. Sturmpaniers sending forces all going for the Kholodny for Hans. He hasn't even seen the scout car. He's just assuming my opponent's going for scout penal troopers. He's going to go for scout cars, that bastard. And lastly, he aims straight ahead for the Kholodny for here. Very solid play there. Not waiting for things to happen, preparing ahead. He's going to lose the Kuban here because the scout car can pretty much pursue it and destroy it there thanks to the 50 caliber before it can get away. But at least he doesn't have to wait for the Kholodny to then avenge the loss of the Kugelwagen. The mighty, noble, made out of tin Kugelwagen. Ergo Kholodny lands an excellent hot. They're almost taking out their hit, not hot, but hit on the scout car, almost taking out the Pims was falling back, having suffered here to Hans. Retreating the Sturmpaniers again. Like, he's not going to push them ahead there at half health. I mean, in that sense, Hans is actually rather lucky they somehow, managed to get down to half health without losing a single member of their squad. But at the same time, Hans, every single time, though, they realise his luck, pulls them back, heals them up before sending them back out. So he's taking absolutely no serious chances there. Very professional, solid play there by Hans. Back here, troops reinforcing. Penalties away there for Kimchi. I was about to call him Chimpy. That would be... I don't think that'd end up going very well. I think... oh dear. Try on the way there for helping Hans. So he's like going to take up. Question is going to be Belgroup headquarters or mechanized. I mean, it looks here to certainly help him out there versus the scout car or the Russian infantry. The Pims will certainly struggle with it. So that could be an idea. Though, of course, the Belgroup headquarters will do more healing for his infantry. And certainly seeing as how Hans is prioritizing keeping his men in one piece, Belgroup headquarters is not unlikely at all. The Kennel going ahead, though it does risk a bit of harassment here, but no. You can see Kimchi there striking straight for the fuel. Keeping Down at here, 300 manpower occupying 500 manpower. That's pretty good there for Kimchi. They're shifting out the penal troopers. Up north in the fuel point, he's going to need to get some forces in there, including the Kholodny. That we got troops going in there to intercept anyone attempting to deal with the fuel point there. And he does go for the mechanized regiment. Again, it does seem like the more meta choice, but also just, considering the overall aggressive play there from Kimchi, and of course the scout car, the looks does offer a few more options for locking this kind of play down from him. Almost got the mechanized regiment ready. Grabbing the southern point here. Medics up there for Kimchi. Quickly moving out there to patch together penal troopers. And then goes Storm past catching the new squad on retreat, doing some harm there, getting some kills in for the fatherland. Wipe is unlikely. We'll have to see, does he go straight for the fuel point, at least try and draw away forces there. Yes, he is indeed. He's going to go there for the disruptive pressure point. No, he does not. Briefly looked like he was going to hit for it, but he's going to go out the munitions there, try and secure it, and that's going to try and sort of disrupt and force his opponent to react to him. Setting up munitions here for an incendiary grenade over the fence and then right at the house there. Penal troops holding up here. Hans very much in the defensive here versus Kimchi's aggressive penal trooper build. Supported here, of course, by the scout car now with a flamethrower in it. And we got mines down there, so basically anticipating the scout car there to move in and pursue. But on the other hand, Kimchi saw that, I think. He basically used the penal troopers as minesweepers to allow the scout car to pursue in there, because otherwise he would just moved in there. I think he specifically parked it away there and then sent in the penal troopers to check for mines, the sneaky bastard. Do not worry, you have all been authorized as minesweepers. We have what? Yes, just move ahead. Thought they'd been moved out and we could say, well, no, the Kholodny for sneaking out there, peering from the snow like a predator with rockets. But the forces I fear will not survive. And there's Hans gets really lucky there, which he did. Got the MD-3rd for moving into support troops. There's a person, the penal troops there with some heavy fire there. Got a looks following up there for Hans. Leichte Aufklärungspanzer here for the 1st Panzer Division. We got Tank Battalion Command up there for Kimchi. Could probably follow up with a quick half track. That's one option. T7 Division 6 is more likely. In particular, once the looks hits, the half track is going to be a bit questionable in usage. So T7 Division 6 more likely. And considering the old aggressive posture there, I'd say T70. Following up with a Dishka heavy machine gun there though for the motherland. There we go. Noting, of course, he's been under so much pressure, he hasn't been able to set up munitions for assault rifles, so his focus gun will certainly continue to be a bit undergunned compared to the penal troopers for some time. Mine goes off there in the south, very good. Of course, they're being held here by the penal troopers that have gotten in before not joining in to support the troops. Luke's moving in. He will likely try and step around here to make it harder for the penal troops just to easily retreat here. Oh, he was baiting Hans in there to try and satchel him. Sneaky Kimchi. And then he hits retreat there. Problem is right now though, he does lack an anti-tank weapon that does tend to be sort of the penal trooper build's main weakness. It is weak to light vehicle builds. Sturm Pony sitting southwards there. Cutting off all of the wire there. Kimchi leaves nothing to chance. We must cut all of these fascist wire. It is an edifice of fascism. Also, really a pain in the ass. Looks bringing the catch and then he is quickly gutting Pushkin there with a few well-placed autocannon rounds. And Dimitri follows after his corpse, forced to the ground like a ragdoll made out of jelly. We got armor piercing rounds there from Dishka trying to penetrate here the looks, having some luck with that. Though not 100% successful, it still does some damage there. And he's going for the issue 6, feeling he's quite confident in his anti-infinite ability. He wants a more substantial counter to the looks, and thusly goes for the Soviet light assault gun. Scout heading southwards there, veteran to 1. Engineers reinforcing, healing. Got a bit of harassment down there from the Sturmpioneer. We got tech up there for Hans. Going to be a battle group headquarters, meaning any further tech up there is going to, like say, medium armor. It's going to be some time off. And might be an indicator it's going to try and rely on special operations for Command Panthers. Of course, I mean, he could still go for medium armor, and he's actually getting back on the map here, so there's an option. Of course, Kimchi's already beginning to call in fuel drops. He might be able to push out in armor, and thusly that's going to force Hans further into the defensive. So we'll have to watch and see what happens. But he was able to put several holes through the engine block. They have the scout car leaving it nothing but a burning wreckage. And there you go, got the S16M out here. M standing for modernized, which is generally, if any so model has M, it basically means modernized, which basically means it's been upgraded in some way or the other. Shot fired, missed the Lux. Second shot misses as well here. Lux doing a good job there, dodging the assault gun's fire, but of course things get close, it's going to be a bit trickier. Nice dodging there, avoiding getting flanked here by Hans, as Lux. Hans was clearly aiming for that, but Kimchi there was able to just a wee bit away. Third shot misses. I mean, the assault gun overall showed Eagles aren't quite good at hitting on the move, so it's a bit lucky there. But fourth shot, it's starting to get a bit silly there with all the shots that keep missing now. I'll wait. S6M pulling back there. In the case of the SM6, the modernization involved basically one engine rather than two separate engines for each set of treads, and a open compartment, so there's more room for the crew, since that was incredibly cramped and thusly not very practical. Made things a bit more comfortable, though of course a bit more colder depending on the environment. Following up with the second Diska there for Kimchi. Of course it also gave them better visibility of the surrounding areas, which of course is also quite helpful. Moving ahead, getting caught here by the MG-34. Folks moving up here as well. Troops are pressed. Could try and self-recharge them. You can see Hans seems to be anticipating that, so it just pops them back out in case they do go for that. There we go, pinned down. Got the SM6 moving up here, bombarding the Volksgrenadiers, blowing them to bits, or at least blowing Jürgen to bits. Another fuel drop here. Hans going for the lightest infantry. Schutzguard engineers pushing ahead here versus Hans. Kimchi should soon be able to take up and begin pushing for T-34s and 6s. I mean, there's still plenty of time before we can call in M4C Shermans here versus Hans. Quick Brandhand Grenade in. The penal troopers looks moving in as well there, sandwiching the pinwheels there between two sources of very unpleasant things. And this Lahid look here getting a wipe there on Kimchi Strafniki, and he gets the wipe there. Looks almost ready to got the assault gun opening up and finally getting a hit there on the Lux. Finally grabbing the northern points here, moving ahead with machine guns and engineers. Looks like a demo charge was actually laid down here and detonated, blowing at least some things of Hans's ownership of the down. Going for replacement punitive squad, very good, but still no sign of tech. Could certainly give Hans more time to sort of tech up himself, though he's likely going to prioritise the medics first, since now the actually sort of beginning to enter sort of the mid-late stage area, so in which case you don't want to have to manage all that healing so much, and so you usually begin going for medics even if you didn't get them right away. He's getting blasted here by the Lux. Assault gunner lands another good hit there. The Kholodny moving ahead, creeping forwards through the snow. Assault gun moving through here, bringing in support engineers to make it harder here for them to defend the fuel point there. In the south, we also got Hans pushing through the few Volksgrenadiers, noting still no upgrades for the Volksgrenadiers. Looks like Hans still does not consider that particularly vital. But Kholodny got spotted. Bad news there for the crew, as the heavy machine gun just tears through them. And there you go, tank forward with the Lux, but that's going to be straight to the assault gun here. There we go, good hit. Veteran 1 game for the SM6M, building a bit of distance there in case there's another Kholodny effort, but also make it harder there for Hans to, you know, for example, flank it. Kimchi continues to respect Hans's Lux Aufklärungspanzer, taking no chances with it. Light infantry gun setting up. Troops are reinforcing. Machine gun moving up. Let's occupy the house. English artillery is raining down dangerously close. And there go Fulton. Need to pull back the assault gun, but it's going to be too late there, I think. Nope. One hand grenade on the machine gun instead. No Panzerfaust there from Hans. And the 1st Panzer Division. Kimchi still not taking up. He's really got the resources for it. Now we could build it and then, you know, get out T-34 fast and then maybe follow up with an M40 Sherman afterwards. Fulton's advancing across the northern dirt roads, pursuing Kimchi's assault gun, and Kimchi trying to maintain a healthy and respectful distance between the German infantry with the Panzerfaust and the assault gun that can't defend itself against that. Luke's moving in, and he's flooding resources. He clearly wants to do it, but he just keeps forgetting about it, maybe, or something else. Just is too preoccupied with the front line. Either way, though, he really should prioritize getting that thing up soon, because he could easily be getting out, you know, a bunch of T-34s to pressure Hans now, and this is just giving Hans more time to buffer up, even take up himself if he wants to. Though he has gone for spec ops, so it seems very likely Hans is just going to try and rely here on the Command Panther for salvation, which does in some way limit his option in case, you know, Kimchi pulls off something really clever. Ooh! Direct hit there on the Sturmpioneers. We could say wipe. They got the machine gun return wipe, but he can recruit that one. The Sturmpioneers' corpses cannot be recruited by anything. God Lord, he's really got the devil's own luck there, doesn't he? That's another unit with a sliver of health just escaping a perilous situation. That's got to be a bit frustrating there for Kimchi. I mean, I'm pretty sure those Sturmpioneers were dead. He's still floating on. This is definitely beginning to move into a strategic error moment there if he's not soon building that mechanized armor company, because he's floating a lot of resources, and he could easily now, several minutes ago, had a T-34-76 up, which could really put some serious pressure on Hans. So this is not good. This is not good. Pupils will change to the Fulton gun is here. Shots fired, troops suppressed. Up north, pointing to caught their assault gun veteran 2. Got the Lukes moving ahead here for the fatherland. There we go, good hit there from Division 6. Kimchi continues to float though. Maybe those units just surviving like that is God's way of trying to tell Kimchi he needs to start tech up there. Instead of just, you know, floating so many resources. Heading behind like Kedmer for here. Double Echidna for their light infantry gun. Hans is definitely expecting armor, though the big surprise is Kimchi's yet to go for it. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure the only one who's anticipating armor is Kimchi himself. And he's anticipating that Kimchi's going for armor. Reinhard Granada off there against the nearest force of the map. Here, MD-34 providing a nice zone of exclusion there for any infantry. Otherwise, still very important here, Kimchi is maintaining strong control of the victory points and also is harassing at the same time, forcing Hans into the defensive. But he could really just strengthen his hand with tanks. It seems like he's just trying to save up for the Shermans then. But again, he's just losing so much time. He could easily by now had like 2 or 3 T-34s out, and then he could always follow up with them for his Shermans. So this just feels like, you know, a weird reliance on call-ins, and even then, he's building up so many resources. Even once he begins calling in the Shermans, he can't call them in that fast since there's still that cooldown delay on calling in between each Sherman. So he's not doing himself a particularly big favour by just floating all of this manpower, all of this fuel. It's really a huge help to helping Hans. I mean, so far the only one who's helping here is Kimchi, and he's helping Hans. Maybe that's what the name means. Anyways. Third Lokenov again. Hans is clearly suspecting something again. And there we go. Kimchi finally realizes, comrades, this isn't working out. We need to go for tanks faster. And then takes up. But again, he's lost a lot of valuable time finally getting around to doing that. Lost a lot of valuable time. I mean, he could easily have, you know, T-34s out though. 5 minutes maybe sooner. Maybe sooner than that. 5 minutes earlier. So this definitely feels like a large blunder on Kimchi's side. Large blunder. There you go. Now I can just begin swarming at those tanks. We can begin building 3 T-34s and 6s right now. 3 of them. And you still have fuel, for example, I think, left over for an M40 shown as soon as he's got the manpower then. So I'm not entirely sure why it's not just, you know, begin churning out those tanks. Trying to flank up here. Good weapon in this case, caught with the MG34. Without smoke screens, you can't really support that up. First T-34 being built there by Kimchi. Troops being engaged here by the looks. Assault and come up to supply a bit extra support here. Pum still being pushed back. Laying down mines up there to make it harder for Hans to sneak through, but also rush through his tanks, avoiding into the main defensive lines. There you go, flanking down here from the north. Very good move there by Hans. Very good move. A lot of people tend to neglect flanking through this area. Quick bun grenade against the disc engineers. Forces charging through the centre. T-34 and 6 almost done there for Kimchi, and he can now call in the M40 Sherms. Again, that's clearly been saying that for a mag at least. I can't see what I was not begin just churning out T-34s as soon as he can. So. And then he begins just building. What are you doing, Kimchi? What are you doing? You're confusing me. Now when he can get the M40 he just decides, oh, sorry, I'll build T-34s anyway. So he's basically just wasted so much time, I guess, on dithering about. And then he finally just begins building the T-34. So that's definitely, I would call that strategic out. But again, he's getting so many T-34s, he should be able to turn it around. In fact, he'll be able to build a 4th one soon enough. Problem is, of course, Hans is getting exceedingly close to being able to call in the Command Panther here versus Kimchi and the 1st Mechanized Corps. Yeah, he could call in an M40 Sherms and then support his 3 T-34s, forming up a mixed armoured group. Well, there you go. 2nd T-34s from 6 out there for Kimchi. Going to probably support a northern push here. No, they're not being allowed to fire it. Infantry might be home to bait in the looks there with the initial assault and then catch with the 2 T-34s and destroy it. I think Hans's Panzer Center's going off there. Almost got the 3rd T-34. Yes, indeed, he's going for a 4th T-34. Hell, he could almost go for a 5th T-34 as soon as the 4th one is done. I mean, he can just churn out so many T-34s. It's crazy. But again, even crazy would have been if he just, done it faster. He's probably pressured Hans a lot better. There you go. T-34's on the prowl here. Going for the looks. Shoots. Gets a hit there on the looks Aufklärungspanzer. Almost got their main gun out. Main gun out. I can't turn about here to deal with this. Mines down. I mean, Hans clearly was anticipating something there. And there you go. Panzer pass off on the T-34. He's charging it straight into Hans's base there. He doesn't care about anything. He's willing to just try and toss away the T-34s just to get the looks. That definitely feels like wrong. We can see Hans is basically camouflaging here, going for the cautious movement ability. He's not allowing the T-34 to just shoot at all the infantry around it. So he's just throwing away the 2 T-34s, trying to catch your looks. We got more armor moving in, more vehicles. He's just churning in there. Got a line for gun, the gun, a Kedden effort. He's now trying to escape with the T-34s. One down there. Other one could also like to go down in a few moments. Command Panther. And there you go. It gets abandoned. That was just... that was not a good move there by Kimchi. That was a terrible move. Like, he had an advantage there, which he just fuddled away. And then when he managed to gain another advantage in spite of that, he managed to throw that away as well. Smart and sharp thinking there, though, by Hans. So we can see now Hans might just be... making another one of his own. He's charging in the Command Panther right between everything, taking a lot of damage in the process. I mean, his Panther's only down to half health. In fact, it's less half health actually. So Hans is pushing his luck pretty aggressively here. Almost lost the Panther already. Assault. No, that's another T-34 down. So now Kimchi's just lost 4 T-34s and an S-6 here, and didn't even get the Panther. That is not good. for Kimchi. And of course, Hans got himself a T-34 in his 6. A Beutepanzer. Oh, booty armor. Fun fact, the Germans would generally never have any sort of, at least officially, over 100 Soviet vehicles and tanks under their control. Though, of course, unofficially, there's certainly some likelihoods they would just capture tanks and then use them for themselves without reporting it to high up, because they would then be expected to hand it over to high command. Little fun fact, though. Yeah, that was definitely just meant to build up such a huge resource, getting out so many tanks and then tossing it all away. That is bloody spectacular in a depressing manner. Of course, Hans is not out of the woods yet. He's still learned victory points than Kimchi. And Kimchi can still begin churning out tanks a lot faster. I mean, that is really one of the advantages of the T-34. Even if you lose one, you can quickly get another one. It's so much cheaper compared to any other tank. Though, of course, it does help Hans. He managed to steal one of them. Generally, the Germans would install some armoured cupolas that was a bit better, so they had to have some better visibility inside the T-34s, which is one of the T-34's major disadvantages. Visibility was not very good. German tank crews would also complain about the optics being not very efficient either, very good there in the T-34s. So a few fun facts there. And there's the demo charge, at least suspects as one. Moving ahead is T-34-76. Catching any squad there though with it. T-34 flanking the T-34, gets a penetrating hit on the T-34. Both tanks meet each other. Got the command Panther moving down. They need to be careful about that. They got a Kenman from the Kimchi's command going after the Panther. Could try and bait them into the penal troops, then just cover it in satchel charges, I suppose. That's going to be a bit tricky there for Kimchi. There you go. Command Panther going for the T-34, penetrating hit there. T-34 shot bounces off the Panther front. So there you go. The Kimchi could open up the rearm of the Panther. There you go. Shoots, but bounces off the front instead. T-34 almost knocked out. He's going to probably try and ram it here. Yes. Can he pull it off? Ah, he pulled it off just barely, damaging the engine of Hans Panther right in enemy territory. This is actually pretty bad for Hans. He might have pushed his luck too far there. Now risks getting covered in satchel charges. Jürgen, I don't think so. The 8 packages. Scheiße. And there you go. Panther down to 2 satchel charges and Raketenwerfer hit there to finish it off with. Quite a loss there for Hans though. Again, he's blown up a lot more T-34s there because Kimchi just handled them like a drunk man handles money at the supermarket. Following up with another T-34, we've got more fuel drops in there for Kimchi, but Hans is certainly turning the game around here. But again, very much thanks to Kimchi just tossing away 5 T-34s. That's a record there. That's a goddamn record. Not a good one, but it's definitely a record. Engineer swapped here, but the disc are taking quite some losses. Looks they're hitting Veteran T4. A lot of munitions, a lot of fuel. Kimchi though could easily benefit though from just laying down a lot more mines here versus Hans. Got the T-34 sitting out, flanking here Kimchi's positions for the fatherland. Or maybe not. MG-34's coming each other here in the center, and in-depth defense there from Hans. T-34 moving up, shooting at the penal troopers. T-34, the Soviet one pulls back. Got another flank there from Hans, so straight into the T-34. Mine there coming the flank, in this case didn't quite pay off. Was in the middle of the road, and Hans stayed clear of that. He's also beginning to float some manpower. Hans could easily benefit from just taking up. Though of course he might just be playing for another Command Panther. Another T-34 out there for Kimchi. Also got a line figure on there abandoned. Struggling to get it out of there and then used against Hans and the 1st Panzer Division. T-34 they're almost done. T-34, there was T-34 gets penetrating, but there's also got a Kenman right next to it. Then, oh, he anticipating a pass in this case, did not wiping like Kenman. That could actually have about Kimchi there, if he can then grab it and turn against Hans. That'll be 2 of the Kenman efforts. which is certainly helping maybe leverage and make up for some of the loss that we got. Second Raketov was supporting the T-34 there, forcing the first one, T-34 back. You can then try to crew the Raketov right under Kimchi's got. Oh, the MD-34 got wiped. Oh, Volkswagen could also wipe here. No, once more gets away with a sliver of health. Luke's moving in here. Troops getting suppressed here by a discount commanded here by Hans as Volksgrenadiers is laying down a murderous fire there from the dirt road. And as all this is happening, you can see Hans setting up with a flank here with the Volksgrenadiers. Second T-34 moving ahead as the first one gets repaired. He moves straight into the Kholodny, not caring about that. Going here for the looks, I think. Wants to destroy it, but can't quite hit with his tank. And that's going to lose his car on there to Hans. There you go. Almost got it. Almost got it. One by hit, but he risks throwing away another T-34. I mean, they're cheap, but they're not that cheap. Even if it's eventually full. Looks, I'm not entirely sure that's going to be a worthwhile trade-off here for Kimchi. And he gets it, but he loses the T-34. But at least not. And then he tosses in another T-34, which is barely operable. T-34 under Hans' command misses. Could this one actually escape? I suppose there's a small chance if he doesn't do anything silly with it. Hans' T-34 continues his pursuit. Oh dear. Victory points whilst Kimchi still got a lead over Hans, but it is quickly vanishing. And there you go. Hans decides not to pursue it anymore. Kimchi's going to need to repair that T-34 fast. We've got another one on the way. Grab this on the victory point. Now you've done a demo charge. And another fuel drop here for Kimchi. Just getting as many T-34s as possible. And a flamethrower and a minesweeper on the semi-engineer squad. We can see here the minesweeper was of course upgraded. The flamethrower picked up from someone else who died. Salvaging the wreckage is there inside in space. They got moved there by Hans. Second Command Panther out there for the German army. And lastly, things get sticky for Kimchi again. He's going to be up against, you know, the T-34 supported by Command Panther and a bunch of Kholodny and German infantry. Kimchi's Pillfoot light infantry gun, the opening assault there by Fuchs is going to get wiped out. Who's flanking? Demo charge goes. I was set off there. Good move. Trying to go out with Kholodny for there though. The penal troopers just swarm ahead. Not caring much about cover tactics or finesse. Still upon its next target, pushed back by the penal troopers. Up north, the T-34 supporting infantry squad there, sweeping in from the northern holdings of Helpinghans and the 1st Panzer Division. T-34 actually got 1 and the Command Panther holding back Kimchi from pushing too far up the centre. He's going to need some serious anti-tank for that, and I would suggest maybe an HV5 here. Getting over the Lancer good hit on the T-34. T-34 needing repairs, other one just slightly still supporting the north here. Kimchi back to bleeding out Hans as aggressively as possible. As he can, though he still needs 1 victory point, but he's definitely focusing on it. Hans a bit short on tech there. Still. Then again, he is very much committed to the Panther Kholodny strategy, specifically Command Panther Kholodny strategy. Fixing up the T-34, other one joining back in. He can go for another one now. He could try and be setting up for the M4C Sherman finally. Or on the HV5. All valid possible strategies there for Kimchi. All valid strategies. Fox moving down there, possibly anticipating a demo charge. He takes by way here, slightly longer route, so he should have liked it into where, you know, the most usual demo charge people positioned. So that's a pretty good move there by Hans to counter that. Get over opening up. Katyusha on the way. That's a curious choice considering there's a Command Panther and T-34 out in the field here by Kimchi. Definitely would not recommend a Katyusha rocket launcher in this situation. Pums are looking everything about here. Command Panther supporting here by supporting the kid with machine guns. And there you go. Pums moving into flank, but I quickly stalled and halted. He's still there, going for the Katyusha rocket launcher. And charging his T-54 there. Just getting some good hits in the Panther, almost taking down to half health there. Almost, but not quite. Kid are suppressed. Almost eventually two at the same time. Katyusha almost done. We got the T-54 moving in there. Supported by the Command Panther. He's quickly approaching Veterancy 2. Hans regaining control in the north here. T-54 was a T-54. Light infantry gun with 4 kills there for the motherland. Ooh! Kaboom! Or not if Kimchi isn't paying attention, though I would say that's a missed opportunity there by him then. Come on, Kimchi, why aren't you paying attention, man? You missed an opportunity to blow up Hans as a kid and whatever. The kingdom come. Definitely missed opportunity there. There we go. Entire weapons team gone. Small loss there for Helpinghans and the German army, but the 1st Panther Division is looking much stronger now than they did before. Again, Kimchi's been tossing out a lot of T-34s. I wonder what the Zets. He's looking at, he's built 8, but he's lost 6 T-34s so far. That is a lot of T-34s. Though it certainly also highlights just how cheap they are and how many you can keep building. But, I will say I do not feel like Kimchi's been so far making an amazing use of his T-34s. I mean, so far Hans has been making better use of the T-34, and he's the Germans. Good choose rocket fire and the MD-34 T-34 in there, catching the Panther, the T-34 in the open, like came off nearby as well. Panther close, setting off the mine there. T-34 down to half health. Main gun out on the T-34 Veggie 2 gained. Oh, he needs to get away from his own mine. Oh, he's ramming the Panther in the rear. Ah! Rammed it straight up Panther's rear. And there you go, Panther almost knocked out there. Hans, I think, made a few tactical errors. So Panther kept it too close to the T-34s. And also exposed the rear needlessly. Well, we got Kedmas moving in there. He might have to ram it again in the rear. And he does it! Took 2 to the rear there. Before it finally went down. Pumes moving safe with heavy machine gun there. Taking out there with well-placed rifle shots over this for T-40 semi-automatic rifles. But, this time around the Devil's not out there to watch out for Hans's men. Another T-34 on the way there, though, for Kimchi. 2 T-34s for Command Panther, and, well, in some ways, it's still a pretty favourable trade. Though, Hans has still got a T-34. I mean, I'm pretty sure Hans so far the only player this match who's been able to get a T-34 to Veteran 2, which again I think speaks volumes of Kimchi's armour handling. Using Northwards. More fuel drops. Not really laying down a lot on my team when he had a large chunk of the map. But I definitely feel like that's something that Kimchi could have benefited from it several times. He used mines to slow down infantry and tanks more. But it made it a lot harder there for Hans to move out his T-34 and Panther freely. And he's obviously setting up for another Command Panther. The German High Commander is going to have to ask where all those Command Panthers are going, but there's no other Panthers or anything else for them to work with. Kills are being pushed back by the T-34. Grabbing the northern fuel point, got another demo charge down there. Victory points whilst Hans now got the lead here over Kimchi and the 1st Mechanized Corps. Sturm has caught laying down mines. Hans certainly doing a bit more with mines, though he's not spending that many munitions on it either. So machine gun there holding up the Pumas, pinning down both squads, or at least one of them, and suppressing the other one. T-34 moving up there to deal with those fascist bastards. Though we got a German cannon over there positioned by the victory point. to open up. The T-34 taking down to half health pretty fast. CoH2 moving up. So far, he hasn't done a lot of damage here for Kimchi, to be honest. Definitely feels like a weird addition, and I do think, you know, more tanks or tank destroyer would have served a lot better. And here this time again, Hanster seems to be getting a bit more stressed out. He's tired, so he's not quite considering demo charges as much. They'll probably position them a bit better. But at the same time, it's not quite positioning where they were previously. So the demo charge is going to be less efficient. We can also see Kimchi though is also getting a bit tired, as otherwise, you know, he would, you know, either try and bait them into it, or, you know, just set it off anyways. Light infantry gun caught again. That light infantry gun has been wiped a lot of times. I'm pretty sure it's been cursed. And down, and there you go. Third command Panther out for Helping Hands. Third Befehls Panzerwagen. Panzerwagen. Fünf Panther. Usually yet to unleash any kind of hell there as his hands. Just turning back all of its rockets. Grenade assault off there. And rocket barrage off there. Oh! Almost got the Sturmpaniers there. But overall didn't do anything there either. Just feels like a weak choice there for Kimchi. A weak choice. Troll kills on the T-34-76. Pushing back the Strafniki in the south. You've got the T-34 moving in, getting the Volksgunners out in the open. Taking a few hits there though from Pantherfast and rockets of all sorts. And back here, CoH2 is just waiting for reloading. Mines to cover the flanks finally again. And the veteran T-34 sets out there for Hans and the German army. Enough up from the T-34 command Panther moving in. Troops getting blasted a bit. 94 points left there for Kimchi. Grab the northern one. Machine gun covering it, but can't see, so it doesn't matter. And the sun being secured there by the Sturmpioneer. Overall, Kimchi is not quite engaging Hans anymore. Perhaps feeling intimidated by the sheer raw force that Hans is now wielding on the battlefield. There you go, T-34 northwards. Pushing back the heavy machine gun crew. Betty 3 PMs from the south. Others moving towards center, engaged by machine guns and the Panther. 92 points left there for Kimchi. T-34 rolling ahead aggressively through the south, but strange a lot of Panther fast. There you go, came up as well. They're almost taking out the T-34. CoH2 firing right here, trying to take out the machine gun. Most rockets fail to actually connect, but it does force retreat there from Hans. And the T-34 goes down to the cannon for leaving Kimchi now without any armor, and with that his spirit is broken like all of his T-34s. In the end he got 9 T-34s, and the answer from Hans was 9. That's not going to work out very well. So a brutal fight right here on Kholodny Ferma. Kimchi having a very strong start, utilising the power there of the surge to quickly gain a lot of ground. Sort of locked down Hans. The problem was he didn't lock him down very hard. He didn't, you know, lay down I think a sufficient number of mines, but he did have sufficient map control there. But that was also the bigger issue. He's just way too slow in taking up. He really lost a lot of precious time and lost the precious momentum. Just push out T-34s as possible. And then we did get them. He basically just tossed them away in that regard. Hans made better usage of the T-34 he captured than all of the 9 T-34s that Kimchi went with. So Kimchi really needs to work in the T-34s because, as Hans here clearly displays, you can definitely make good use of the T-34s, but it does require deft hand, which was what seemingly Kimchi just lacked, a deft hand in using them and using them efficiently. You could also maybe consider back taking for some mortars and smoke screens. That would certainly also help out his moves there. Hans could have maybe considered taking up, but he was all under a lot of pressure, so I certainly understand why he didn't just try to rely on the Command Panthers instead. Maybe some more flanking, but also some more mines here and there I think could have benefited Hans. But overall, he made pretty good much of the situation. Although had Kimchi not so spectacularly, thrown away all those T-34s, there's certainly a high likelihood that Hans could have lost. So it's definitely not the most flawless strategy, but I would say he did pretty well. He did pretty well. He was able, I think, to react to the mistakes his opponent made and exploit them quite efficiently. And certainly, again, displayed some good tactics here and there as well. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send a new player and some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers. Thank you for watching. And, see you all tomorrow for another shining episode. And a big thanks to all my Patreon supporters, without which this episode would not have been possible. Cheers.